they're riding in Tesla Model X's. They've been equipped with cooling units, so once they sit inside, that umbilical that I was referring to earlier will connect to the spacesuit to provide cooling while they're inside of the vehicle.
And you can see them talking and waving with their families now. We just saw them do a virtual hug with their sons.
There's Megan and Karen and their sons, yeah.
They're the dads.
The dads, yeah.
It's so awesome.
Bob blowing his family a kiss. Doug actually got to take his wife and son up to the pad on the tower. Yesterday they tweeted out a photo. That was so cool.
I saw that picture and it had a prominent worm in the picture, right?
Yes.
Telling you, worm all day. So they're climbing through those DeLorean doors of the Model X. This is totally from the future.
Are they stock? Are they stock Teslas?
And then you see in the front seat there, that's our flight surgeon. He's climbing in, and the suit technicians, there's one, Chris Trigg right there, number 12. He is buckling in. They're both, the two suit techs are buckling in, Bob and Doug, and they're connecting that umbilical.
And Lauren, I know you mentioned this earlier, but for folks that maybe weren't watching then or can't remember, I mean, we're in Florida, it's super hot, super muggy, so how are they staying cool?
There are these portable cooling units. We had one at the ONC building, two at the ONC building. There are two in the Teslas. There'll be two in the elevators, and then two in the white room when they arrive on the crew arm. So we're just keeping the cool air flowing through the suits. There's actually ducting integrated into the suits to keep them cool. And you can see they're saying goodbye to their families. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. That their families get to come up to the window and obviously get a little closer than everybody else.
There's Megan, her son. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
These are precious moments. This is what it's all about, as I mentioned before. It's about the people, it's about the families, and working together as one community to get Doug and Bob launching off to the cosmos, to the space station.
Yeah, it's emotional.
Our colleagues and friends at SpaceX and NASA who have had a hand in seeing the Crew Dragon commercial crew program come to life.
And we wish every single one of you could be here up close to see this, but we want you to be a part of this journey regardless of where you are watching today. And so for the next few minutes, while they're making their way to the pad, we want to highlight those people whose hands and words and thoughts built all that we see here today. And we hope all of you watching can feel that pride that each of these NASA and SpaceX team members has for today. And we are following the convoy, and Leland, Lauren, I don't know about you guys, but I'm so glad that we had the chance to hear from the NASA and SpaceX teams that have been working behind the scenes, because Lauren, I know you know this all too well. I mean, these people have been working not only for, the last, since 2014 when SpaceX won this contract, but I mean, working long hours, long reviews, coronavirus happened, and then they're homeschooling.
Fortunately, we had little milestones along the way, like Demo 1 and IFA, the in-flight abort mission, but it was all leading up to this, and I just high for all of those people, if not the pinnacle of it.
Absolutely, and I know Doug and Bob appreciate them so much. And as they continue to make their way to the pad, the next astronauts to make this journey are also watching very closely. NASA astronauts Shannon Walker, Victor Glover, and Mike Hopkins, and Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Soichi Noguchi will also be flying. And now we're going to go out to Hawthorne for the last leg of the convoy's trek to the launch pad. Dan?
Also made changes to both Falcon 9 and Dragon to enable flying crew. A key update to this latest version of Dragon is its highly reliable launch escape system that is capable of carrying crew to safety at any point during ascent of the rocket.
Right, and I'm sorry, I'm just waiting for that pullback moment on the camera where we're going to see their cars roll right up to the pad. Another key upgrade, though, for everything today is Dragon's new life support system. As you can imagine, there we go, crew arriving at the pad. As you can imagine, flying humans requires keeping a habitable environment inside Dragon throughout the entire flight. And so that's everything like providing breathing air, keeping the capsule at a safe pressure, keeping it free of contaminants, removing carbon dioxide, regulating temperature and humidity, and implementing a waste collection system, aka the toilet.
The changes to Falcon 9 were small but extremely meaningful to meet NASA's requirements for safety for human spaceflight. And specifically, SpaceX had to prove a high degree of fault tolerance, meaning that small failures in the system would not lead to mission failure. Falcon 9 was already able to handle engine failure, but new emphasis was put on making sure that a failure throughout any phase of launch would not mean mission failure. And that's a really cool view on your screen with Bob and Doug getting out of their Teslas. That is amazing. And this goes down all the way to latches, control valves, electronics, and wiring, meaning that small failures in the system would not lead to mission failure. Falcon 9 was already able to handle engine failure, but new emphasis was put on making sure that a failure throughout any phase of launch would not mean mission failure. And that's a really cool view on your screen with Bob and Doug getting out of their Teslas. That is amazing. And this goes down all the way to latches, control valves, electronics, and wiring, is so much more to keep them safe.
I listened to on the way out. So here's what they chose. The first is AC/DC's Back in Black. I think he actually tweeted that one, or someone recommended it, which is super cool. And the reason being, they are back. Then they also listened to the elevator music from the Blues Brothers film, that song "Girl from Ipanema." And I believe so, yeah. He's got another career, that and meatball loving. But sort of symbolizing the fact that they're waiting. And the third song was the Star Spangled Banner, the Army French horns version, for very obvious reasons, that one.
Yeah, you gotta set the mood, set the tone, right, Leland? You know all about that.
Meatball.
And
Don't let me come over there, Lauren.
so here in just a couple of minutes, Bob and Doug are going to be making their way up in an elevator. They don't have to climb the whole way. I'm not sure if that one is Bob or Doug in this one here. Can't tell from this view, but looks like one of them is getting ready to get out of the Tesla in just a minute.
Dragon is capable of carrying 7, but for NASA missions, it's 4.
It's just 4, okay.
Talk about what you remember and kind of how it's different now.
Yeah, I mean, the form and the function, I mean, this black pad with the white ticking, and, you know, it's a really beautiful, you think about STEM education, but this is totally STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And I think, you know, SpaceX has done an incredible job of making things look really beautiful and functional, and you know, everything just fits perfectly. And I think, you know, when we were having our launch pad, there were hoses and things hanging off, but this is a very sleek and elegant and kind of futuristic look at the next era of space travel. And you know, I just love seeing these Teslas versus the Astrovan. Are they doing selfies?
It looks like they're trying to strain to see the top of the Crew Dragon, just taking in the sight.
It's pretty high.
And I don't know if you caught this when we could see it briefly on the shot, but the license plate says ISS BND, ISS bound.
Oh,
You
nice.
follow?
Nice.
Yeah. And hopefully they will be today. You just need the weather to say, I mean, it looks pretty nice right now, right? But I mean, obviously it's not just what the weather conditions are here. They've got to think about downrange in case of an abort, make sure it's okay for recovery if we get into a situation like that, which is unlikely.
So this elevator is going to take them up to level 255. It's not 255 floors, but that's
To the elevator, Lauren. And here they come.
It's a beautiful view up there too of the, you know, all of the surroundings in Florida and this national wildlife retreat that we have here. But getting ready for the business at hand of getting in the rocket and heading to the cosmos.
And those are the stairs Lauren mentioned. They're at it's the 255-foot level right now.
Yes.
I think I said that right. And now they're headed up the stairs.
You're right there. They're looking at. And Lauren, what are those chevrons, those white chevrons on the?
needed to get away ASAP. They follow those arrows to where escape baskets await them. There's 7
wanted
baskets.
to inspire another generation of astronauts. Really, everything when you look at Dragon was driven by function. We took into account everything from the placement of all the cargo supplies to the light rail on the top, doubled as a handhold. Probably one of the biggest features of Dragon are the touchscreens on the inside. We designed them not just to be very functional, but with a user experience in mind. It's very intuitive to know what we need to do at any given moment in time. When I think about comfort for the astronauts, it's really every aspect of how you could interact with the spaceship that comes to mind. We have 3 different seat sizes. We even go so far as molding the foam around the astronaut's body so that there's not any pressure points, and it's just generally a pleasurable journey to space. Dragon is a spaceship that's all about safety and reliability. We designed it to be 2 fault tolerant, making this incredible moments happen for everybody.
This has started on schedule.
We see them signing, looks like they're signing something in there right now.
Yeah, we give them a black Sharpie to sign the white room. It's starting a new tradition.
Yeah, we didn't do that. That's nice.
That's
It's a
awesome.
good tradition.
And while we were in the video, we saw Bob and Doug walk down the crew access arm. Leland, it's like that, futuristic look that you talked about. I mean, what did you think seeing that, how that kind of compare and contrast what that was like during shuttle?
It's really beautiful, I think. I mean, back when I was flying on shuttle, everything looked, I look at the thumbs up from Bob. He's getting excited. Just a few little photos at the end there.
Technology and aesthetic is super important. Actually, right now you can see that duct in the hands of member number 5 there. That is an ECS duct, or Environmental Control System duct. Once this original, who just went in? Was that Doug or Bob?
I think that was Doug.
Okay, Doug
That was
just climbed
Doug,
in. That is awesome.
He's ahead of schedule. Somebody tell him to climb back out.
Looking, it is great.
He's ready. He's like Leland. We were joking earlier about it. We were going to have to buckle Leland into his seat here to keep him from running out there.
Yeah, if we had stayed outside, I was going to swim across the moat and run over and get in the vehicle with Bob and Doug. But
Bob's going in.
yeah.
This is great. So the suit technicians are helping the crew climb inside. They're holding back the hatch seals to protect the seals on the hatch, but also making sure that the crew doesn't hit their head or anything on the way in. Even though they have helmets, we still don't want that to happen.
And they climbed in a couple minutes.
In, they're going to perform a comm check, and that's again similar to what was done at the ONC building, but this time the integrated 2-way communications between the astronauts and the ground crew.
Hurley are those astronauts flying in Dragon. They're inside. That's Doug Hurley really close to our screen, and Bob Bankin on the further seat away from us.
And they are getting ready to lift off from packing their umbilicals to their suits.
And if required, taking control and manually flying the Dragon. We can see Doug Hurley manipulating those displays right now.
And coming up, the crew will do a comm check to make sure that they can hear mission control, and their seats will be rotated into position for launch so that they can see those display panels.
Using the conditions, a 40% chance, if you're an optimist, of good weather. But right now, the clock is continuing to count down. All systems are go. We're just inside T-minus 2 minutes, 2 hours, 35 minutes.
Stage 1 tanks pressing for flight.
T-minus 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
America has launched. And so rises a new era of American spaceflight, and with it the ambitions of a new generation continuing the dream. 20 seconds into flight, stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
T plus 30 seconds into this historic mission. Flying crew on board Dragon and Falcon.